Agents for Change Talk Radio, where we do radio with a different style. Good morning. Welcome to the hottest talk radio show on the internet. It's the Agent for Change Talk Radio Show, where we do radio with a different style. I'm your host, Rob Bell. This issue of violence in the city of Philadelphia is exasperating. It's getting to be an old hat. It's totally out of hand. And it seems as if no matter what amount of money that comes through the city, what amount of initiatives that are brought before the city and city council and the government, it seems not to be stopping the violence. It's just getting, crazy to the degree that where we got some iconic businesses in Philadelphia that have been affected by the violence. Just the other night, Patch, the King of Steaks in South Philadelphia, who have been there forever and is open for 24 hours a day, where a multitude of people come to get their cheesesteaks, and they're known around the world. They had a killing out there the other night between two factions, I guess allegedly coming from a soccer game, and one faction picked up the lid of a garbage can and beat the other man in the head with it, and as a result, he died. This happened right in front of Pat's Steaks, in the middle of the heart of South Philly. Just, I guess, 3 weeks to a month ago, a man was shot in front of that same location. And, again, an iconic business in Philadelphia that has to experience the issue of violence right outside their counter. It's crazy. We got 15-year-olds being shot. We have fathers and sons being shot together. And, this is happening on a daily basis. There are not enough police officers on the ground with boots on the ground. There are not enough 911 dispatchers to dispatch police to those various locations that violence are occurring in. And we got criminals out there that are just running rampant and committing violence with impunity because they know nothing's going to happen to them. By the time the police get there, they're long gone. And so I would suspect that there are hundreds of homicides that are unresolved and people's loved ones have been killed and the murderers are never going to get caught. I was thinking the other day that, no matter what we do, this violence situation is never going to stop. It is never going to stop. It is never going to be pushed back. It is never going to be taken care of by law enforcement. Never is a permanent word. Never. And it's crazy to think that we live in a society today where, as a regular, everyday citizen who wants to get up and go to school and go to work and try to take care of our families, that we have to walk through a city with an attitude that says, at any given time, I could be the victim of violence. I could be driving in my car and get carjacked. I could be standing on a bus stop waiting for a SEPTA bus, and these guys can drive by wanting to shoot somebody else, and I can be a victim of a drive-by. I can be walking down the street with my children, and they want to do a drive-by, and one of my children can get shot. If you watch some of the videos that have captured some of these guys out there using handguns and shooting each other, it's brazen. It's like watching an episode of the Wild Wild West or Gunsmoke. They argue, and then all of a sudden somebody pulls out a gun, another person pulls out a gun, and they start shooting and running. And the result is, in more cases than not, somebody's dead. That's how brazen it is. I did a show the other day on the AGENT4CHANGE network, and I talked about the parents and their responsibility to their children. We have 14 and 15-year-old children out there banishing and carrying automatic weapons and killing people. You mean to tell me as a parent you don't know what your children are doing? You don't know what your children have done after they return to the house? Not all these kids are living out in the street. A good majority of these kids come from families, and they live in the same house that you're in. You mean to tell me you don't know what they're doing? I find that hard to believe. You mean to tell me that you live in a community with young people and you have no clue or no idea what these young people are doing when they come back to your community after they've killed somebody, and you don't want to get the police involved because you have this adverse relationship with law enforcement? You live by the I don't snitch mantra. And yeah, I know that if you say something, it puts your life in jeopardy and you're scared. But there are a lot of ways to let the police know what's going on in the community. There are a lot of ways to get somebody arrested that has committed crime without them finding out that you did it. There are a lot of ways. All these guys ain't, a mafia gangster type where they're gonna find out who says something. It's not like that. They got people paranoid out there and think and have people believing that if you say something, you're gonna get hurt. That's not always the case. It's ridiculous out there. And then as a young person, I mean, what kind of soul do you have where you can just, kill another person, take another person's life, and then on the flip side of that, go on about your business like it's nothing? You are a true sociopath if that's the way you are operating. And you need to be removed from the street and placed in jail. That may seem harsh, but if you are not in a position to have a better account for yourself and you want to continue to kill people, then you don't need to be in society. You need to be in jail with the rest of the killers. And you need to be exposed to the same violence that you're exposing people to, because certainly when you go to jail, you're going to be exposed to violence. 10% of you guys out there are committing these crimes out there, while 90% of the citizens are law-abiding people. When you go to jail, 100% of the population in those facilities are criminal. You're going to be subject to that. You need to think about that. And in more cases than not, if you get convicted of murder, you're going to do at least 25 years in jail. That's almost all your life. And every day of those 25 years, you're going to be looking over your shoulder and with hopes of somebody not killing you. Every day. Think about that. Every day you're going to be looking over your shoulder with hope of somebody not raping you. And don't tell me you so big and bad that you can't get raped in jail, because you can. Most of you guys ain't even built for jail because you're punks carrying guns, and that's why you carry guns in the first place, because the gun gives you power. And when they take that gun away from you, your power's gone. And you become the little punk that you are, and they place you in jail. And you suffer in the same way that you're making families suffer when you take their loved ones away from them because you want to kill them over a gang ritual, or over a drug territory, or over something somebody said on social media, or over a girl, or over a car, or over a dog. I mean, these are the types of things that people are getting killed for. It's unbelievable that in the year 2021 that we're taking people's lives for such trivial things. A dog. Something that somebody said on social media. I don't like what you said about me, so I'm going to go and hunt you down like an animal and go out there and kill you for that. What the hell are you thinking about? Why would you do that? I get into an art. I don't know how to manage my feelings and navigate through this thing we call life by talking whatever issue I have out with the next person. So the way I end it, or the way I manage it, is I go out and I kill you. That's where we are today. And no amount of money, no amount of programs, no amount of initiatives will change the attitudes of people who are out there committing this type of violence. As much as I am an advocate for the eradication of violence and the shows that I do on a weekly basis, it's like spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm wasting my time because, first of all, nobody's even listening to what I gotta say because it's not trendy. Number two, nobody even cares because it doesn't touch them, and when it doesn't touch them, they're just going about their business until a bullet hits somebody in the head that they love, or until a bullet goes through their back. You got to be the victim of violence in order for you to wake up, or you got to be close to somebody that has been a victim of violence before you wake up. I've been close to somebody that has been, I've been close to a couple of somebodies that have been victims of violence. And that's why I do what I do, because I'm tired of it. I can't sit back and just not say or do anything about it. And as much as I say that it will never change, I'm never going to stop talking about it. I'm never going to stop advocating for the eradication of violence. And I'm going to hold the people who are supposed to be helping us with this accountable. If you decide to take on the position of being a police commissioner or a mayor or a person in city council, the people we vote for, then I'm going to hold you accountable for trying to continue to be as steadfast about this as I am. I don't want you to sit back and not think that you can't do anything about this. You can. Even if I say it's never going to stop, you can still continue to try to do something about this. Please. Write in my comments on my YouTube page what may be some of the solutions you can come up with to help this. Subscribe to my page and help me get a following for people to stop this violence in the city of Philadelphia. It has never been this bad. If you don't care, then you're going to continue to get what you get. This is Rob Bell, and I am the Agent for Change, and this is the Agent for Change Talk Radio, what I feel is the hottest talk radio show on the internet. And I need you to continue to listen, because I'm going to continue to give it to you the way that I give it to you. I'll see you next week. Agents for Change Talk Radio, where we do radio with a different style.